Hi everyone. So this is the fourth class with respect to exception handling, as you can see from the heading. So there are some minimal topics left out with respect to exception handling. So let us try to wrap up all those topics in this particular class. So in our previous class, we covered many topics. We covered multi-catch, we covered nested try. Then later on, we covered the usage of throw keyword. Then we covered the usage of finally keyword. So in this particular presentation, we will cover what is exception propagation, what is the usage of throws keyword, how to create a custom exception handler that we already saw in the previous presentation. I'm trying to discuss more with respect to creating a user-defined exception, which is nothing but custom exception handler. Lastly, we are also going to see on a topic called as finalized keyword. So let us first try to understand what do you mean by exception propagation. So there is a concept called a stack frame. So stack frame, what do you mean by stack frame? The series of method calls, whatever all the method call that will be taking place will be stored in a stack frame. So it contains the return addresses of all the methods that will be called. So if an exception is thrown from the top of the stack, and if it is not caught, that means A method calls B method, B method calls C method. Now an exception occurs. So if an exception occurs in C method, if it is not being handled, it will drop down to the previous methods. It will go to B method, it will go to A method. If it will go to B method, if there is a catch block there, it will be handled. If not, it will go to A method. If there is a catch block there, it will be handled. So if it is not handled, the program gets terminated abruptly. So that is what is called as exception propagation. So an exception is first thrown from the top of the stack, and if it is not caught, it drops down the call stack to the previous method. If not caught there, the exception again drops down to the previous method, and so on until they are caught or until they reach the very bottom of the call stack. This is what is called as exception propagation. So there are three methods: A method, B method, C method. A method calls B method, B method calls C method. An exception happens inside C method, but there is no catch block inside C method. Then the exception goes to B method. If there is a catch block, it will be handled. If there is no catch block, it goes to A method. If there is a catch block, it will be handled. If not, the exception won't be handled. The program terminates abruptly. So let us understand how exception propagation takes place with the help of a Java program. So I will go to Eclipse. So these are all the programs we executed on exception handling. So I will go on exception handling package. I will create a new class. So let me name the class as exception propagation. So we are seeing how exception is getting propagated from top of the stack frame to bottom of the stack frame. So what I will do, I will create a main method. I'll create a main method. So inside my main method, I will create an object for this class. Exception prop ob is equal to new exception prop. I am creating an object for this particular class. So once an object is created, through that particular object, I will call a method called as A. I will call a method called as A. I am calling method A. So let me give the definition of that particular A method. So I'm created an object for this particular class. Through that particular object, I'm calling A method. That means I should define A method inside this class. So I will write void A. Inside this, I will write the try block. Here I will call the B method. Here I will call the B method. So for the try block, I will have a corresponding catch block. I will write the parent exception handler. I will write the description of the exception. Then I will write a simple statement saying exception handled. Okay. So here I am just calling the B method. I am not executing any code. I am just calling the B method. This is also executing the code, which is calling B method. So here no exception is generated. You are just calling the B method. Now I need to write the definition of B method. I will write void B void B. Inside B method, I will call the C method. Inside B method, I will call the C method. Inside B, I will call C method. So I will write one more method called as void C. Void C. Here what I will do, I will try to divide a number. So let me divide a number 25 divided by 0. So when you see this particular message, so this will generate an exception. That means this particular stack frame, this is at the top of stack frame, because initially from main method you called A method, from A through try catch block you called B method, so from B you call C method. So all this method call will come inside this try block only. So inside try block you called B, there you called C. Inside C it is generating an exception, but there is no catch block inside C method. The exception will get propagated to B method because C was called from B method. Exception goes to B method. Here also there is no catch block to handle the arithmetic exception. So it will go to A method because B was called from A method. So it will come here. Here there is a catch block to handle the exception. So it will handle the exception suitably. Then it will go to the main method. So when I run or execute this particular program, as you can check from the console, the exception is properly handled. This is what is called as exception propagation. So here from try you are calling B method. So B also comes inside try block. From B you are calling C. So C also comes inside try block. From here C, inside C, an exception gets generated, but there is no catch block to handle the exception. So it goes to the previous stack frame, which is B method. Here also there is no catch block. So it goes to the previous stack frame, bottom stack frame, which is A method. Here there is a catch block. The exception will be handled suitably and the program terminates normally. This is called as exception propagation. That means if an exception is generated from the top of the stack, it propagates until it is handled to the bottom of the stack. So we saw a Java program to demonstrate the above concept. However, this is an unchecked exception. Your arithmetic exception is an unchecked exception. That means it will be checked only during runtime, not during compile time. You can propagate only unchecked exception. You cannot propagate checked exception. That means by default, they are not propagated. However, you can propagate the checked exceptions also by using the throws keyword. That we are going to see later in the session. So before understanding how you can propagate a checked exception, let us understand throws keyword. The main intention of using throws keyword is to declare an exception. We will mention what exception a method will throw. One particular method yav exception na generate ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ we will mention with the method declaration. So one particular method ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ exception generate ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ throws keyword ಬರೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. It gives an information to the programmer that there may occur an exception. So ಆ ತರ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ it will be better for the programmer to provide exception handling code so that normal flow of the program can be maintained. ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಬಿ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಥ್ರೋಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಥ್ರೋಸ್ array index out of bounds exceptions ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಯು ರೈಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ array index out of bounds exceptions ಅಂತ ಬರದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಸೊ ಆಗ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮರ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಓ ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಬಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಒಳಗೆ array index out of bounds exceptions ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಟ್ರೈ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ನ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಥ್ರೋಸ್ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಮೈಟ್ ಥ್ರೋ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಬಿ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಮೈಟ್ ಥ್ರೋ array index out of bound exception ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. So in such a case, you can write the try catch block for handling array index out of bound exception inside B method so that normal flow of the program will be maintained. So that is the usage of throws keyword. It is used to declare an exception. It gives an information to the programmer that there may occur an exception. So the programmer can provide the exception handling so that normal flow of the program is maintained. ಸೊ ಯೂಶುವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾವ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು? ಚೆಕ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಥ್ರೋಸ್ ಬರೆದು ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಚೆಕ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಯಾವ್ದಾವ್ದು? ಫೈಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ಆ ತರದ್ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಚೆಕ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಚೆಕ್ಡ್ ಬೋತ್ ಎಟ್ ಕಂಪೈಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ರನ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಸೊ if you are not handling the checked exceptions, then it will lead to syntax error. So that's why you should always declare what are all the checked exceptions a method might throw. Unchecked exceptions declare ಮಾಡ್ಕೋದಿರೋ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎರರ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಂಪೈಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಚೆಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So that's why it is better to declare checked exceptions. Why? Because all checked exceptions, if not handled, will lead to syntax error. That's why all the checked exceptions, one method ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ checked exceptions ನ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಥ್ರೋಸ್ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಅನ್ಚೆಕ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನ ನಾವು ಕಂಪೈಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇದ್ರು ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್. ಸೊ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಥ್ರೋಸ್ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ನಾನು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ, ನಿಮ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಷನ್ ಏನಿದೆ ದಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಥ್ರೋಸ್ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್. Now checked exceptions can also be propagated, that is forwarded in the call stack. It provides information to the caller of the method about the exception. So that means ನೀವು throws keyword ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಆ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಗೊತ್ತಾದಾಗ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನೇ ನೀವು ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಥ್ರೋಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತೀನಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. Java throws clause which describes the checks exception can be propagated by throws keyword. So let us understand how we can achieve this with the help of a Java program. So now ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ? Exception propagation is possible only for unchecked exceptions ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. For checked exception you cannot propagate the exception ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. But for checked exceptions also you can propagate the exception provided you will use the throws keyword. ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದು ರೀತಿ ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋದು. ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಹೊಸ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಷನ್ 2 ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ an enumeration. Let me delete this. So let me delete this. I will go to the same package. I will create a new class exception propagation 2 because prop agla create agide. So what I will do here, I will go to the main method. So let me create a main method. Inside my main method, I will create an object. For this particular class. So let me create an object for this particular class. Prop2. So as soon as an object is created for this particular class, I will call a method A. ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಎ ಮೆಥಡ್ ನ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಎ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ದ ಎ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಬರೀತೀನಿ. ವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಎ ಹಿಯರ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ದ ಟ್ರೈ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಎಸ್ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್. ಹಿಯರ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಬಿ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಸೊ ಟ್ರೈ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀನಿ. ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇ. I will print the description of the exception. Then what I will print a statement, exception handled ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದ, ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಎ ಮೆಥಡ್ ನ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಎ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಬಿ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಶುಡ್ ರೈಟ್ ದ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿ ಮೆಥಡ್. ನೋ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ಬಿ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಬಿ. So inside B, I will call C method. Inside B, I will call C method na call ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. So ಈಗ B, inside B are calling C method. So C method also comes inside try block. ಈಗ C method also comes inside try block. Now I will write the definition of C method. Void C. Now what I will do, I will specify what exception this might throw. So I am specifying this will throw IO exception na throw ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, that means input output exception na throw ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. In this case, you can propagate an exception. So if an IO exception gets created here, that exception will be propagated. Since there is no catch block, it will be propagated to B method. Since there is no catch block, it will be propagated to A method. Here the exception will be handled. So let me create an IO exception. Throw new, I'm creating an object for the IO exception. Throw new IO exception. So ನಾನು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್, ಏನ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ಎ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಅಸ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಎರರ್. ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಆರ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಎರರ್ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ IO exception I need to import the package. So import java.io.star. java.io.star. So C method unhandled exception, because C method ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ this particular exception, when it is thrown, this particular, so it will call the B method, eventually it will call the C method. So now the exception got propagated. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ this particular method will throw IO exception ಅಂತ description ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Then I created an IO exception object. ಆ exception object ನ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ here you should declare ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಒಳಗೂ IO exception ಥ್ರೋ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗಲೇ your checked exception will get propagated. So throws IO exception. So because ಇಲ್ಲಿ exception object ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ this is a checked exception. Checked exception cannot be propagated. It will be propagated only when you declare what exception this method might throw. So this method might throw IO exception ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ. ಸೊ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತ IO exception ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ IO exception ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ exception handled ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So when I execute this particular program and check the console, as you can see java.io.exception device error, ನಾವು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಬಂದಿದೆ, exception handled ಅಂತಾನು ಬಂದಿದೆ. So what we did here, from the main method we created an object for the class, then we called A method, then from the try block we called B method. So B block tells it might throw an IO exception. From there we called C method, it tells it might throw an IO exception. Then we created an IO exception object. This is a checked exception. This can be propagated only when you specify what exception the method might throw. So when you propagate this exception, here also I need to specify what exception this method might throw. So finally it gets propagated to the method call inside try block. There your exception will be suitably handled. My exception suitably gets handled there. So your throws keyword provided the solution in order to propagate your exception. So without using the throws keyword, it was not possible to propagate the exception. So now throws ಅನ್ನೋ keyword ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ ಚೆಕ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಸಹ ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಕ್ಕೆ ಈಸಿ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಥ್ರೋಸ್ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ನ ಪ್ರೊಪಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ. So far we covered how we propagated exception from top of the stack to the bottom of the stack. So during propagation, if it finds a catch block, then it will be handled. Otherwise, it will be propagated to the bottom of stack. But you cannot propagate a checked exception. For that to happen, we will make use of a keyword called as throws. If you use throws, your checked exception, this is IO exception, is a checked exception that also can be propagated. So you have heard of many keywords. You have heard of final keyword. What do you mean by final keyword? It can be defined with respect to a variable, method as well as class. So I explained clearly with respect to final keyword. Then we saw finally. So how we can make use of finally in Java exception handling. That means the code inside finally gets executed irrespective of whether the exception is handled or not. There is one more keyword called as finalize. So let us understand what is finalize. So before understanding finalize, I will explain something with respect to garbage collection. So you will create an object for a class in Java. You will create an object for a class in Java. So this object will perform some operations. This object will perform some operations. Correct, right? This object will perform some operations. Once the object perform all the operations, the memory allocated, the memory allocated to the object needs to be deallocated. The memory allocated to the object needs to be deallocated so that the memory will be available. The memory will be made available. The memory will be made available to other objects. The memory will be made available to other objects. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ನ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅಷ್ಟು ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಆ ಮೆಮೊರಿನ ಬೇರೆ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೇವೆ. ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗೆ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಇದನ್ನ ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಬಿಫೋರ್ performing garbage collection, so before performing GC means garbage collection. Before performing GC, garbage collection, we can call a method called finalize. So this performs some cleanup. Operations. So object na delete ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಕ್ಲೀನಪ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಈ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಬಿಲ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಐತಿ. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇನ್ಬಿಲ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ as object. Inside this class, inside object in this class, we have finalize method. This contains empty definition. That means ಈ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಎಂಟಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಬಿಲ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಐತೆ. ಇನ್ಬಿಲ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಒಂದು ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಐತೆ. ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಮೆಥಡ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಎಂಟಿ ಐತೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿಂಗ್, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸಬ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ನಾವೇನೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸೂಪರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟು ಸಬ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. So when all the classes we are creating are subclasses of object class, ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಓವರ್ ರೈಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ನ ಓವರ್ ರೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್. ಸೊ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದೆ? So we can create an object for a class. This object will perform some operation. Once the object performs all the operation, we can deallocate the memory allocated to the object so that the memory will be made available to other objects. This is what is called as garbage collection. Before performing garbage collection, we can call a method called as finalize, which will do some cleanup operations. So this finalize method is present inside an inbuilt class called as object. This finalize method will have empty definition inside inbuilt object class. All the classes we are creating are subclasses of object class. So we can override the finalize method and write our own implementation. So if we understand all things I explained now with the help of a Java program, you will get a clear picture with respect to finalize keyword. So let me show the theoretical part. So Elaine explain madidini, that is repeated here. It is a method that the garbage collector always calls just before deleting or destroying the object which is eligible for garbage collection. Just before deleting an object which is eligible for garbage collection, you are going to call the finalize method so as to perform cleanup activity. Cleanup activity means closing the resources associated with the object like database connection, network connection, or we can say resource deallocation. Cleanup means inside your finalize method, if your object has established any connection with database or any network or any resources it is using, then you can remove all those things in the finalize method. Once the finalize method completes, immediately garbage collector will destroy the object. So finalize method ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾಯ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಯುವರ್ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇನ್ಬಿಲ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸಿಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅನ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈಯರ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್. Next to finalize, throws, throwable. That means I am just mentioning it might, or this particular method might throw any exception. Throwable is the parent exception class. That's why this particular method ಯಾವ exception ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ throw ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದೇನೆ. Since object class contains the finalize method, hence finalize method is available for every Java class. Since object is the super class of all Java classes. Since it is available for every Java class, hence garbage collector can call finalize method on any Java object. Now, ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು Java object ಒಳಗೆ finalize method na call ಮಾಡು. Now, the finalize method which is provided in object class as an empty implementation, in our class cleanup activities are led, then we have to override this method to define our own cleanup activities. ನಾವು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗಳು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸಬ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸು ನಾವು ಈ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಬಿಲ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಓವರ್ ರೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನೇನ್ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಆ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ನ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, so these are the things you need to remember with respect to finalize keyword. So the object which is the objects corresponding is going to be, so what the thing is, so ಯಾವ object ಗೆ garbage collection eligible ಇದೆ ಆ particular object ಗೆ finalize keyword ಕಾಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ particular object ಗೆ clean up operations ನ perform ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Let us understand this with the help of a Java program. So ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ. ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ನ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನ್ಯೂಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಎ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ 1 ಅಂತ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. So here what I will do inside finalize 1, I will create a main method. So let me create a main method. So inside my method, I am creating a object. This is an inbuilt class string. New string, I am passing some message. Let me pass Sam and the pass martin Sam. Next, what I will do, I am making sure this S is null. The object which I just created, I am making sure it is becoming null. So once an object becomes null, once an object is null, I will call the garbage collector. I will call the garbage collector. So garbage collector, what will do? It will destroy this particular object called as yes. Then what I will print? I will print main method completes. Main method completes. Main method completes execution. Main method completes execution. Okay, so when you are performing garbage collection, so it will perform garbage collection on the objects which is null. So this particular object is null, yes object is null, so it will perform the garbage collection. Now what I will do, I will write the finalize method. I will write the finalize method, public void finalize, public void finalize SYSO finalize method overridden, finalize method overridden. So in this particular case, what actually will happen, that we are going to see now. So the main thing that will happen here is that, so here we didn't created an object for our finalize class, we created an object for some inbuilt class, that is string inbuilt class. That object we made null. Then we call the garbage collector. So when we call the garbage collector, it will call the finalize method just before performing the garbage collection, that is destroying the object. Now the finalize method of this particular object will be called. So it will go to string class, there the finalize method will be called. So this finalize method won't get called. So that's why in our output we will get only main method completes execution anta matra barutte. So if I run this particular program and check the console, as you can see, main method completes execution anta matra bartaithe. Why this happened andre, here garbage collection happened, it happened quite efficiently, successfully. That means it destroyed this particular S object before, as I'd already explained in the theory part, before performing garbage collection, that is before destroying this particular object, it will call the finalize method. You are destroying S object which is of string inbuilt class. So it will go to the finalize method of string class. There is empty implementation. That's why it won't print anything. Now what I will do, I will comment this one out. I will comment this out. After commenting this, I will try to create an object for our class. So this is our class, finalize one is equal to new finalize one, new finalize one. I'm creating an object for our class. So that object I make it as null. So that object I will make it as null. So now I created an object for our class, then I made it as null. Once an object of our class becomes null, then the garbage collector gets called. Before performing garbage collection, the finalize method will be called. Here, the OB is an object of finalize one class. So finalize one class to finalize method idu. So idu call agi finalize method overridden anta bardu ಆಮೇಲೆ garbage collection perform ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. But the way in which this output will be printed because depends on threads. That will be our next topic, threads. So but the which thread gets executed first, that output will be printed. So we cannot expect always this output to come first, later on this output. So this will all be in terms of threads. So when I run this particular program and check the console, as you can see, it is printing only main method execution. See, when I run it again, it is printing both the output now. So it is all depends on threads. But actually how the output execution should happen andre, initially finalized method overridden anta bando, next it should print main method completes execution. Always this thread is getting executed faster, but the actual way is, so once you call garbage collection on this particular object, initially the finalized method gets called, then it will print this, then prints it. But before it goes to this particular call, it is getting printed, this statement is getting printed, then finalize method overridden anta print madadu. But actually before you perform any garbage collection, always the finalized method of that particular object will be called, then the garbage collection will take place. So far in this particular class, we covered how exception propagation takes place. We saw how exception propagation takes place for the unchecked exceptions. Then we saw how exception propagation takes place for the checked exceptions. It is possible only when you make use a keyword called as throws. Then later on we saw the usage of finalize keyword. What is garbage collection? Before performing garbage collection on any object, the finalize keyword for that particular object which is eligible for garbage collection will be called. So in this particular election, for this particular object, garbage collection was eligible. So the finalize method of this particular class will be called. It will print this, then the garbage collection will be performed. So the last topic will be custom exception. So we saw in the previous class itself how we can create user-defined exception classes. During business logic and all, user-defined exception classes. So if you have complex business logic, then the existing exception handlers won't be enough. In such a case, it is needed to create the custom exception handlers. These custom exception handlers will get invoked based on some conditions. I will have some conditions. So only if those conditions are not met or met, then the custom exception handler will get called. All custom exception handlers will be subclasses. All custom exception handlers will be subclasses of inbuilt exception handlers. Subclasses of inbuilt exception class handlers. So the inbuilt class exception handlers ಏನಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ custom exception handlers ಎಲ್ಲ inbuilt exception handlers ಗೆ ಸಬ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ. So with this we already saw main ಆಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಾವೇ ಓನ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡು ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀನಿ. ಅಂತ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಯೂಸ್. ಸೊ ಜೊತೆಗೇನೆ when we create a exception object, we can also pass a message ಅಂತ time ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So that we are going to see with the help of some Java programs. So let us create a Java program to create our own custom exception. So I will go to new class. Let me name it as custom exception create ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. So ನಾನಾಗೆ ಒಂದು this is my exception class, smile ಅಂತ ಒಂದು exception class create ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. So all exception classes, all custom exception classes are sub classes of exception class. So exception ಈಗ smile ಅಂತ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು exception class ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಂದು ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಂದು ಮೇನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ಮೇನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ MA, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಟ್ರೈ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ದ ಟ್ರೈ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್. ಹಿಯರ್ I can create an object of my new exception class smile. Throw new smile. So it will create an exception object. Exception object to catch block ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ನ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. So I will write one more statement. We caught smile exception. We caught smile exception class object. We got smile exception. So what we did ಅಂದ್ರೆ smile ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀನಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So aವಾಗ I can create an exception of this particular class. Here I created exception of this particular. So throw new smile ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಈ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತು ನ್ಯೂ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಕಾಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ನ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಐ ರನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್, as you can see from the console, exception handling dot smile. So that means exception handling ಅನ್ನೋ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಟ್ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಬಂದೈತೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಥ್ರೋ ಆಗೈತೆ, ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, ನಾನೊಂದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ನ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್. ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ರೈಟ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ನ್ಯೂ custom exception 2. Now what I will do, same smile ಅಂತಾನೆ ಬರ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. class smile extends exception. Class smile extends exception. Now here what I will do, I will call a constructor. So I will write a constructor. Smile ಅಂತ ಒಂದು constructor ಬರ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. Smile string s. Here I will call the super class constructor. Super class ಯಾರು ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಈಗ exception class. Correct? Smile is a subclass of exception. Exception is a super class. So ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಸೂಪರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. Here I will write the main method. MA main method. Now I will write the try block. I will create an object, throw new smile. ನಮ್ದು ನ್ಯೂ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ನ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್. So as soon as you create an object for a class, the constructor gets called. For the constructor you're passing let's smile. ಈ ಎಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೂಪರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ ಈಗ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಈ ಸೇಮ್ ಯಾವುದು ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸೈನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ. ಇನ್ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಈ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಗೆ ಈಗ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಬರೀತೀನಿ. ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ E. So let me write it as smile only because now exception smile create ಮಾಡಿದೀವಲ್ವಾ. So smile E, because smile is an exception class now. So ಅದ್ರದ್ದು E ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, SYSO E dot get message ಅಂತ ಬರೋದ್ರೆ so it will give me this message. So when I created this particular exception object, I passed a message. In order to obtain this particular message, I can make use of get message. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಗೆ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ನೀವು ಸೂಪರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ಗೆ ಲೆಟ್ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಗೆಟ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಸೂಪರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸೈನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಮಿ ಲೆಟ್ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಅಂತ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಐ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಕನ್ಸೋಲ್, ಪ್ರೊಸೀಡ್, check from the console. No such method exception in main thread, no such. So let me declare it as smile2 anta madkobidodu, because ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ we already declared smile, so let me declare it as smile2. So what error we are getting? Exception in thread main, no such method java.lang.string. Okay, so let me declare it at smile. So I made everything as smile2. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ because if it was smile, we in the previous program itself we had a class by name smile. So ಅವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರದ್ದು ತಗೊಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಎರರ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So that's why we should make the class as smile2, because both the classes are in the same package. ನಾವು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ we cannot have two classes with the same name in same package. That's why I will make everything as smile2 anta ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ, smile2. Okay, so what actually happens here? So I'm creating an own exception class, custom exception class, which is called a smile2. So when you create an object for a class, the constructor gets called. Let smile yes copy ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So super class call ಆಗುತ್ತೆ exception, ಅಲ್ಲಿ yes ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಗೆ ಅಸೈನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So yes in super class yes gets assigned to message. Yes gets assigned to some message parameter ತರ ಅಸೈನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So next ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಕಾಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಲೆಟ್ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ವೆನ್ ಐ ರನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಆಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಲೆಟ್ ಸ್ಮೈಲ್. ಸೊ ದ ಮೇನ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಲರ್ ಇಸ್ you can create an exception object based on your own conditions. If your condition is getting satisfied, you can create an exception. If your condition is not getting satisfied, you can create an exception. But all your custom exception handlers will be subclasses of the inbuilt exception class handlers. So in this particular class, we covered some concepts, that is exception propagation. Yav tara agutte stack frame alli, from top of the stack frame, it will go to the previous stack frame. If there is a catch block, it will be handled. If not, it will go to the next previous stack frame till the exception will be handled. So it will keep propagating until it reaches the bottom of stack frame. You can only propagate the unchecked exception. If you want to propagate checked exceptions, make use of throws keyword. Then we saw finalize. Finalize will be called just before garbage collection. So finalize will be called on the object which will be garbage collected. ಯಾವ object ಗೆ garbage collection ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಆ object to the class to finalize method call ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That's why ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟು ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟು ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ಎಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಒನ್. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಒಂದು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತೆ. ಸೊ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟು ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಫೈನಲೈಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗಾರ್ಬೇಜ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಸಾ ಹೌ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಓನ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಲರ್ಸ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಯೂಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಲಾಜಿಕ್. So this completes your exception handling topic. So we covered many concepts with respect to exception handling. There were 4 classes, all were of length equal to 1 hour, close to 1 hour. So close to 4 hours of exception handlings we have covered with many Java programs and many concepts. So we covered try catch block, we covered multiple catch, we covered nested try, we covered file not found exception, we covered null pointer exception, we covered print writer class, then we covered nested try, later on we covered throw keyword, then we covered finally, then we covered throws keyword, then exception propagation, later on we covered finalize, lastly we covered custom exception handler. So just go through the entire presentation. It is very much easy exception handling topic. So if you find any doubt with respect to the entire playlist of exception handling, you can ping me the doubts. I'll be able to clarify your doubts. Thank you.